For today's cycle, once again in Aberfeldy. The last cycle I did, I went up this road here to Pitton Green and then cycled back by the same route. Today, however, I'm going to go across the bridge again, and instead of turning right, I'm going to turn left, and I'm going to explore this road here, which goes through the Appin of Dull. Dull's quite a funny place name. Dull means it's boring in English. Dull means something's boring or unimaginative. But I don't know the origin of the name, this little village here, Dull, but I'm pretty certain it's going to be beautiful. And then if I turn left here and follow this road down, I actually get to Kenmore. And then I'll have the choice of coming back the direct way into Aberfeldy. Depending on time, I might do that, but I'm more likely to just decide to go back the way I came, just because this is a quieter road to cycle on, which I prefer. So I'm going to see what the Appin of Dull has to offer. So I cycled over the bridge, General Wade Bridge in Aberfeldy, and then I turned left. I went through a little village called Weem, which has kind of two nice churches in it and an old churchyard as well that looked like it had quite an interesting large stone cross inside it. But I kept going, and I have now got to Menzies Castle, which you can see behind me. If you see it written down, it looks like Menzies, but when we pronounce it in Scottish, it's Menzies. So here we go. This is the approach to the castle. If I were to go in this direction, there's a really nice woodland walk, kind of a little cave that you can visit, and it's also got a couple of earthworks, so like stones which are marked with circles. I think it's called cup and saucer marks basically, but you have circle decorations carved into the stone. I remember it as being a steep path, so I'm not about to attempt it on my bicycle, but let me just take you a wee bit closer to the castle. Built in the 16th century, and basically it had a lot of renovation done to it in the 20th century, bringing it back to sort of recreating what it would have looked like. So it's actually a really, really cool visit if you go inside and take the tour. You can see different halls, including a banqueting hall, family portraits, kitchens, and bedrooms as well. The last time I was here, I actually took the ghost tour, and that's run by Horror and History Tours. So this is the back of Menzies Castle. Again, it's a spectacular building. You can see it dates from different periods, and it's had work done on it to restore it. There's a kind of courtyard space, and a couple of flats at the back. I'd just been talking to the gardener, and he confirmed what I was just saying about ghosts and the ghost tour. He asked if I'd visited the castle before, and I said yes, and I'd taken the ghost tour. And then he was saying that, yeah, certainly it is quite famous for its ghosts, this castle, particularly some of the flats at the back, which I presume are those buildings there that we've just seen. Different people have reported different sightings, not just in the castle, but in the grounds as well. You just saw me point towards the kitchen gardens, the walled garden, and that's a site of some paranormal sightings as well. So here we're going in to explore the garden area of the castle. You can see we're looking down into a well just now, and then we are going to have a quick look at a monument
This monument commemorates the Polish people who took part in the Air Force and the Armed Forces during the Second World War. So basically they fought on the side of the Allies, and there was actually a military hospital close to here in Kenmore, which is where I'm cycling to. And this during the Second World War, Menzies Castle was used as a kind of administrative base for the hospital, and also a store for the hospital. So part of the sign's in Polish, part of the sign's in English, and it just kind of gives thanks for the sacrifices that the Polish people made in this war in order to defeat the Nazis.
Here, this is perhaps something unexpected if you haven't visited here before. We have a memorial stone to commemorate Maharaj Dulep Singh, the last Sikh ruler of the Sikh Empire, because he was a laird of Castle Menzies in 1857, and as you can see, it says here, affectionately known by local people as the Black Prince of Perthshire, which is like completely inappropriate in today's language, but I've no doubt that was what he was referred to during these times. But his part of our history is very much commemorated with respect here. No. Okay, let me look at this sleepy horse. And let me just show you something else. If we go around here, back through the gate, we can just say a quick hiya to the gardener's dogs, who are oh so patiently waiting for him. Hello, darlings. Hello. Hi. Hi. In the car. Hi, guys. Good dogs. So I'm now just below the town of Dull. We've got this lovely farmhouse here and this field of horses. Hi, guys. But what I wanted to show you, aside from these beauties, is this. Just letting that part go past. This is an honesty box, so if we open it up, you can see there's eggs for sale, free range eggs for sale. At the moment there's not any, but what would happen whenever they do have eggs available, they have the eggs in this kind of purpose-built hut. You put your money in here, you help yourself to the eggs, and the sign at the back tells you how much you should pay for your dozen or half dozen eggs. Hi, Horsey. You gonna come and say hi? Okay, so in terms of cycling, I have to say I'm not enjoying this road as much as I did the other Aberfeldy road. The cars are faster. They're not too frequent, but when they do go past you, they do go past quite fast. Have we got an itchy head? Go up and say hi to you. Hi, Pony. Horsey. You gonna say hi? Oh, you're gorgeous, aren't you? You are. You gonna say hi to this old English teacher? Hey? Are you? Hello, hello. You are here, aren't you? Hello. You're trying to reach that grass and you can't reach it. There you go. Get your wee hands there with that. There you go. Thanks for saying hi. What? You want some more? Do you? Right, that's your last lot. just needed to show you this. Welcome to Dull, paired with boring Oregon, USA. When Kenny first got his new car, a Toyota, and we were using the GPS, and we were driving somewhere, I think we're trying to get to Fortingall. It's close, but not, I don't know, about 10 miles away or something. All the time his GPS kept leading him to Dull. I think it was like some kind of techie joke that somebody who designed the software systems for Toyota's GPS thought it'd be really funny to send cars to this tiny village called Dull in the middle of Perthshire. I had to stop cycling just to show you this. This is a small stone circle to sit in on this course in this valley. You can see 4 standing stones, small standing stones, but standing stones that have been here for a very long time. This whole region is full of ancient stone monuments like this, whether single standing stones or stone circles. So I've just cycled past this sign which says Riverside Path, Aberfeldy 2.5 miles, Kenmore 6 miles. So Kenmore's basically where I was going by the road, but as I said, I really am not particularly enjoying being this close to the traffic, and this path looks cyclable. I'm going to pop down here and follow this trail and see if it's something that I can do on my bike. So I'm now beside the river. That lovely big track that I followed has kind of turned into a tiny little path. That's it behind me. I don't know if you can see it. However, I am right beside the river, which is really splendid, and I've pretty much got it to myself. So I'm going to go cycling along here, keeping my eyes open in case there's any beaver activity in the water. Okay, the verdict so far is this is a lovely footpath, but actually not ideal for cycling. Certainly not ideal for cycling on a bicycle with no suspension. And every time you kind of pass the length of a field, you have to dismount, open a gate and swing the gate closed again. But more so, I'm wearing shorts and some of these are quite jaggy, it's quite overgrown, so I'm cycling past brambles and there's big holes in the path as well, so twice already I've sort of nearly fallen off. I've been tipped around a wee bit, so I'm going to keep going, take it easy, see what I can see. It's certainly absolutely magnificent being here beside the river. I'm just hoping I don't land in the river. So for the first mile of that track, I really didn't see the river much, partly because there was trees on my left hand side, but more because the path was so uneven and full of stones and holes and nettles and brambles that I really had to keep my eye just down and be watching where I was going at all times. So I've just gone through possibly my 6th gate and come out to a really nice open stretch of the River Tay, and really this is what it's about, isn't it? This is so beautiful, and I'm really here by myself. It's quite a privilege. Yeah, and here we go. Quite often in Scotland, when you've got land that is this nice, it's part of an estate and it's used for less nice things. So for example, up here, this is a fishing hut, but here you can see the sign. It says shooting grounds. Sorry, my exposure's terrible here. Shooting grounds, please keep dogs on a lead. So this beautiful bit of woodland that is so quiet and tranquil and lovely and peaceful. In just a few days' time, I think it's the 9th of August today, and shooting starts on 12th. They call it the glorious 12th. That's when shooting season starts. So these woods are going to ring with the noise of bird shooting. And yeah, I mean, people might argue that this is about protecting yourself from being shot, but it's really anti-trespass, anti-right-of-way, anti-walkers. If you are into fishing, this truly is an amazing place to do it. Not only do you have the beautiful river, but dotted along this whole cycle path are these little huts to facilitate fishing. So one that I passed earlier had a barbecue. This one's just got a little picnic table and benches and a shelter. But really nice examples of vernacular architecture in the landscape. Well, this is a new one for me. In the past I have canoed past a beaver's den, but I have never cycled through a beaver's den before. So if you look into the water, you can see somewhere down there under all of these steps is an entrance that the beavers will swim through to get in and out of their house. And because of the time of day, the likelihood is that they're actually in here with their young, with their kits, sleeping. Isn't it extraordinary? It's right in the middle of the path. So I've now reached a bridge over the river, and I think there's quite an easy way up to it. I'm going to rejoin the road now because some of the cycling has been a little bit difficult. And just the sheer number of gates, it's like having to stop, dismount and go through a gate means that I'm a little bit behind schedule. So I'm going to go onto the road and do a bit of fast cycling now to try and get to Kenmore on time.
I just cycled down this little road in the direction of Kenmore, and in fact had the road to myself because the road is closed to vehicles because there's some kind of telecommunication work happening on it. I suspect it's linked to this new holiday park that seems to have been built very recently. Over on the right hand side, there were perhaps 50 new log cabin style houses side by side in the landscape, and all the vans and cables were around that area. So I think they're just putting in the telecommunication infrastructure for the new holiday homes. If you just take a look around though, here, this is kind of what I wanted to show you. This, at first glance, kind of old period, and then you kind of wonder what it was for. Slightly churchy, slightly castle-y. It's just built in a style that doesn't make much sense in terms of like ancient history. It's designed to look old, but it's not as old as it's pretending to be. I suspect this is a Victorian folly. A Victorian folly is a piece of architecture put in the landscape as entertainment, really. I mean, they're put there to look magical and mythical, and to sort of celebrate the historic ruins that do surround our landscape in Scotland, but they're just modern copies, or modern versions of ancient ruins that their purpose is to look nice.
So here I am just on the outskirts of Kenmore. It's another development. You can see this lovely old building here. I'm not sure what its original purpose was, but you can see how it's been turned into kind of holiday accommodation. And just beyond these houses over here is a lovely big golf course. So this is me in Kenmore. I'm not going to spend too much time here. I'm just going to turn around and cycle back. I am definitely not doing the River Tay way again by bicycle anytime soon, because I spent quite a lot of time nearly falling into the river there. It would be a nice cycle if all the gates were open and you had a proper off-road bike, which I don't. However, it's been an absolutely glorious cycle up to this point. I'm really noticing how touristic this region is, and how many of the buildings are like for the purpose of tourism rather than like local accommodation. Another thing that I am less enamored with is the way that hunting and fishing the land is very pastoral and beautiful, yes, but it is probably like that for the reason of tourism and like the hunting sports, which it depends how you like your nature. If you think being out in nature is playing golf on a golf course, then this is the place for you. If you like your nature a little bit less tame, a little bit untamed, or less tamed and more wild, then you're going to have to go deeper into Perthshire, deeper into the woods and the mountains. Okay, let's get back up this hill.